Hello. So, the fish look a little better. A little cloudy right now. They just finished their parasite treatment and just got a water change in their filter. Well, the carbon back in their filter. The filter's been running. So, they're doing a lot better. They'll have more videos coming out soon. But right now, we're doing an art video. Okay, welcome back. So, I'm sorry for the changes in the videos. Every time I change these videos, it's because there's a change in my life. My son will be starting school soon in the fall, so my scheduling will probably change again around that point. So what did we do last time? We finished the inking on Jessie. I noticed that this calf is slightly bigger than that one. Nothing I can do about it now. But we finally get to start painting this piece I started for my son. So first we're going to go about erasing the pencil marks. I'm probably going to outline the R's I need with a color pencil or something, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Now you might notice I'm spreading my fingers out like this and erasing between them. That's to keep your paper flat, more steady, so you can erase more aggressively and not have to worry about bending or messing up your paper. Especially want to get rid of these margin lines because, as always, I have busted out of my margins, ladies and gentlemen. So, today I'm probably going to try to lay down some light colors on our main figures, and then I'll go and add like the details later that you layer on top. Things I do with color pencil with more paint. We might not even get them both. I might just focus on Meowth. I may, because of how my schedule is going to be for a while, again, until my son starts school, I have more free time during the day. I might film these in small segments when I have free time at night after everyone else has gone to sleep and stitch them together later. So if you see the lighting kind of change in the middle of the video, that's probably why. You know, it's very early in the day right now. It's not even lunch yet. Got some natural light pouring in here. So I think I got about everything. So then I get my fancy little horsehair brush. I don't smear. Oop. Sorry about that. Now I can see a few areas. And again, I use these white plastic erasers. You don't want to use pink erasers, they smudge. You want to get a good quality eraser. It's almost as, if not more important than the pencils you use. I kind of want to add some shadowing right here when I do her tum-tum, but I also don't want to make her look anorexic. Alright, I think that's good. So, now I need my examples. Now, there it is. I was sitting on it. So, we're going to start with Meowth, probably. Oh, I see more spot. This is why I always keep my eraser on hand, because sometimes you'll be painting, you'll find a little line you forgot. Let's do a test real quick. I want to see which red I have erases the easiest. It's kind of a weird thing to test, I know, but it's very important. Definitely forgot to do this in my original video comparing Rose Art, Crayola, and Prismacolor. So first we'll start with the Prisma, quick R, the Rose Art, and what's this one? The Crayola. So I'm going to see which one erases the easiest. Prismacolor does not like to erase. Rose Art erases a bit easier. And finally, the Crayola. I mean, none of them are going to erase very well, but it looks like the Rose Art is actually the one that erases the most. So, probably because Prismacolor is softer, it stains the paper. So if you want to outline stuff like this, maybe use Rose Art. I'll do one right now, and then we will see how it works. So I'm going to start with the R here, because it's going to be super easy. I'm going to do it really light. Just like that. Now I'm going to look up Jessie's chest. I'm not going to type in Jessie's chest, because I'll probably get some weird results. Now I'm just curious, actually. So this is what comes up if you type in Jessie's chest. Not what I was expecting. I guess I forgot that cowboy was named Jessie. Actual real nice chest there. Jessie. Team Rocket. And this is another one of those things that's been inconsistent over the years. I'm just going to have to pick. Because like you see here, the newer one is very clearly separate from the thing. But the older ones, it splits up into it, right? I'm just going to do what I think looks good. I ain't going to... And what I think is the R would be like this. And then like this. And then like this. I'll probably use that more or less for my outline. I'm going to erase them so it's just barely there. I mean, that's going to be white. It's just going to be shadowed, really, with some gray. So, I'll probably use a cool gray pencil. I probably won't even use color pencil on that. Like, look at this one. It's super split because of her figure. You can tell whoever did that one was feeling a little sus. So, let's type in meowth. And this boy, he's got some colors on him. I think with certain things like the medallion, I'm just going to go super light. And then I'm going to add like darker spots, try to have the shine. So the light's coming from here, so the shine would likely be going like that. I wish I had something shiny at hand so I could kind of see. Oh, here we go. Here's some scissors. Yeah, it's going to be coming from there. Okay, so outline my red. I'll put that away. Cannot find my favorite pen at the moment, or my favorite brush at the moment. Oh, I put it up here, of course. I had time to organize my desk again. So his eyes are black, I'm noticing. So I'm actually going to start with the glasses. There's always going to be more lines to erase, ladies and gentlemen. Why am I going to start with the glasses? Well, it's kind of going to go over everything. Okay, well, there is flesh under the glass. I'm gonna hold off on the glasses. In fact, I think if I light this gold color, doing a little test over here, that's probably going to be our fur color. I don't remember what I did in the last one. Yeah, this isn't showing up on camera, so... so this is the gold, which maybe for the darker spots of the fur, but it don't look very good right here. Okay, so now let's try some of this human flesh color. And what's really saturated looks bad, but when I moisten it out, I mean, it looks a little bit better. I think the moistened out gold kind of matches more, though. Once that dries, I'll be going back over it to see what glasses will set the best. I might not do the glasses till later. But first, let's do a more saturated gold. For the medallion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paint in there, I'm going to fill it out, then I'm going to get this, dip it in water, I'm going to come back to my sample area and just try to saturate out as light as I can. So there's barely any color there. And then I'm going to go in and blend out so I don't get those lines. There we go. So yeah, I'll probably add some dark lines to that after. Maybe with a color pencil or another layer of paint. You know, I didn't test the brown for his skin. He does have a lot of brown too, so let's get a little brown. I mean, like, obviously for the darker spots, it'd work fine. When we want a lighter spot, now that these dried, I can really see the difference. I think the gold's going to be my best bet. Real quickly, I'm going to take some of this pink. So why does he have pink glasses? Because pink is my son's favorite color. I'm just going to lightly see. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to do. So, pink and gold. That'd be a good way to get blush effects later on too. I'm going to try to remember that. I'm sure you hear me say stuff like, I'm going to try to remember that a lot, and then I never do. So again, I'm getting the water, I'm going to my paper, and I'm saturating it out until it's super light, and then I'm going to go add it. I might even go back here to get more. So I'm going to start with the tip of his whisker antenna thing. It'll be super light. It might not even actually show up on camera for a while. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting more color, dipping, going back. Water, paint, dip, saturate. Right now they look smart, but then like in a minute you're going to be like, oh, those glasses, those are completely for fashion. Same thing with his brow. I'm going to add like some darker spots to infer more emotion later on. Crap, I did a little too much there. Took us quite a while just to get to the painting stage, and I gotta tell you, like, I mean, in this video, it's like a little over 10 minutes at the moment. You would rather do that. You want to over prepare. See, I got some darkness right there from somewhere. I just went back, saturated it out. I mean, his flesh is looking meowth fleshy. That's the thing. I'm thinking of his flesh, but it's probably like fur. You know, he's got a fur ball. He's a cat. I always wonder, because, like, you know, our real-world classifications of animals don't fit into Pokemon well. Like, what is a mammal in Pokemon? Because Milk Tank is the only one I'm aware of that makes milk. I guess you could say the humans do. You just assume they have normal human biology, but it's not making milk. It's really the only defining factor. You know, when I was a kid, our teacher, we had this, it's very outdated now, but this posters that showed you all the different kingdoms of animals. And she asked, what makes a mammal a mammal? All the kids said hair, warm-bloodedness, live birth, that kind of thing, which is actually observed in other non-mammalian animals. And there's even some mammals that don't give live birth, like the monotremes. Well, being a second grader that watched too much Discovery Channel, I raised my hand and I said, we have nipples. We produce milk and we use it to feed our young. I got in trouble for that. And if you looked at the poster, there's like this naked dude, and he had like a wolf in his lap and a bunch of animals around him, but he didn't have nipples. And I find that hilarious. Like, you want to teach biology, but you get upset because I point out literally the only thing that defines us as mammals. Now, as long as I'm ranting about classification, do you know what a fish is? Science doesn't. Science, according to the current system, either everything with a spine is a fish, or nothing is a fish, because fish is not a taxonomic clade. It's kind of like that technically trees don't exist bullcrap. But people often have trouble separating common terms from scientific terms. A lot of times the things we say might have a base in science, but it's misrepresented, like the thought of it. You know, it's kind of like karma in Western culture. You'll hear like, and I especially hear women at the park whenever they want to teach their kid a lesson about why they just ate shit because they kept telling them not to do something and they did it. She'll say, that's karma. Right there, that's karma teaching you that you should have listened to your mother. And, you know, the thing is, karma is expressed in your next life when you're reincarnated. Like, some stuff that happens to you now is based on karma of a past life. So, like, if you went out and you kicked some guy in the nuts, you're not going to get kicked in the nuts later. In this lifetime, that's not how karma works. But, you know, we all saw My Name is Earl. And that's how they present it in there. That's the Western idea. But what's funny is if you watch My Name is Earl, there's a point later on towards the end of the series where the guy that Earl heard that from corrects him and says, no, and he tells you what I just told you, essentially. I believe he adds that's an expression of the Dharma, but it's just funny to me how, because my name is Earl, that's stuck in our culture. Oh, I should have done the brass on the Suba. I think that's what it... Or is the Suba the wrap? The hilt. I'm just going to say hilt. Someone who's, again, better at Japanese, correct me in the comments if I called that part of the knife the wrong thing. And I'm just going to put... Boom. There we go. So it's just a little glint of gold, just so you know it's not his finger. I like to put a lot of stuff in my art where I think people later on might question what something is, but I would know. And a cool part of doing these videos is now, you know too, we have like these little secrets in the art. Personally though, I love when someone notices something like that, which it's honestly pretty. They never notice what you want them to. Now, likely, after I get the meowth done, I'm going to let it set a while. Because if I try painting this stuff behind him while he's too wet, it might oversaturate out. And the colors might blend and whatnot. It'll be a lot harder for me. That's why I always say, especially with art, but especially with watercolor, don't be afraid to take your time. Don't be afraid to stop and walk away. When I was a kid... And I hear a lot of artists have this problem. They'll say things like, I can't put something down, come back to it. I lose motivation. I'm just not able to do it. And, you know, that's even a problem I had when I was younger, even though I went to school for it. They would make me restart. I wouldn't be as excited about it. But I assure you that you have the ability. You're the one that made it. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to test runs on different pieces of paper. I'm questioning how I'm going to get the shadowing with his flesh. Because I don't think I have a very fleshy... Well, I have some Crayola and some Rose Art, but I don't think I have the good ones. Well, they won't stand out as much. Some things you don't want to stand out as much, so I'll use the shitty ones. Yeah, I have something that might work. I'll just do what I did today, and I will practice somewhere else. And then add it before we decide what to do. Really, we're just going to be laying down base colors. I'll probably, at least for the figures, like if I don't finish this video today, which it's looking like I might not, I'm going to edit them all together. So you'll just see the lighting will kind of change, and I'll be working on this again. I'll explain to you. Yeah, it dried out. I might have to get new paints soon. I might have to get new paints soon as well. Unless I have one sitting around somewhere, but... It's fine, you'll run out of like black and gray first, but you'll have like ones that are hardly ever touched. Black is one of those really hard ones where you gotta be very slow, be very gentle, and try on your other paper to get the tone you want before going to your main one, because it'll go from hardly there to overly saturated in just a second. You know, those were supposed to be wood sticks, and I'm realizing I made them invisible. Oh well. It goes with the art style of Pokemon. Yeah, I'm just going to try to get like a really light gray right now. Because first I'll go and add more black later. But I want to be able to do shadowing. I don't want to oversaturate. I'll probably do his ears a bit darker than his jacket just because, well, they don't really need as much detail. They don't need those wrinkle shadows. I originally kind of wanted to put Pokeballs on there, like as crest or insignia, but I'm like, just a nice jacket, a nice black jacket. I also, the Yakuza, their bosses have a very certain, like, kimono design. You know, they have those magazines with the comics and whatnot in them, and they will have pictures of the bosses in there. And yeah, I considered doing that, but I think it would take too much away from Meowth himself. This is nice. This is subtle. Alright, look, I got some super black right here. I'm just going to show you how I want this super black. Like, you see how easy it is to just overly darken it. The black is like the most finicky color with watercolor, at least for me. I've noticed on TikTok, a lot of these painting videos are just like, well, it's like 30 seconds super sped up, and I think, you know, someone might enjoy that, but people who've watched these kind of videos in the past told me they really enjoyed seeing how long it takes to actually give them a frame of reference, because there's people who buy art, and they're like, okay, I believe now this took like this amount of hours. This person wasn't bullshitting me. His eyes are just black. His ears are just black. So, go add the eye darkness. Oh yeah, that looks so fucking cool, bro. See, I didn't test it, came out super dark. Good thing I wanted it super dark, and it didn't turn out like pitch fucking black. It's funny because he's like really plain and kind of like beigey. But as the picture goes on, he is not going to be, or he's going to stand out a lot, because, I mean, the background's going to be purple. Jessie's going to be bright. You see my paper's starting to saturate out a bit much. Alright, there's our meowth. I definitely want to save the R for when I go doing finer detail. So, yeah, definitely in the comments of this video, let me know if you enjoy me taking more time to show the entire step, or if you're going to, or if you would like it to be shorter, like to cut off right here, and then me do Jessie at another time. But right now, we're just going to have a quick edit, and we're going to go to me painting the next part. I'm sorry for any sudden changes. There's been some time between when I recorded the last bit of this and now. So visually, things might look a little different. It can be jarring to some people, so just wanted to warn you. Dang it. I got Jessie here. For my example, she's probably going to be mostly off the screen. She's in the way. But there's really not too much color to this one. I think I'm going to save the R for detailing, the same with the shadowing. And I'm just going to try to get her base colors in right now. And that counts the shadowing on the jacket thing. I don't know what you call it. Weird Japanese clothing. They always have holes where you don't want holes. I guess unless you're sticking a sword in it. So, let's start with the skin. Because the skin, you don't want other colors to run in the skin. It can be very annoying. So I have a brand new full piece of sample paper right here. I'm just going to put it down, work it out, get a little water until I get it nice and light about where I want it, and then transfer it to my main piece. And I will be going back and shadowing her skin as well with everything, but I just want to get a nice, consistent, light, peachy tone. I think this is actually the first, no, I've done humans. Well, in this series. I didn't paint that one for the channel, though, so it's probably like the first person I'm painting on the channel. Good person to start with. You know, recently I went back, watched Pokemon with my son, and now it's his favorite anime. But Misty in there. You know, I was one of the kids had the crush on Misty, and watching it now, I'm like, why did anyone like her? But it made me realize that when I was a kid, especially, it was kind of normalized for women to just be really mean to the male main character, and they still said they were friends, and they still hung out all the time. I mean, like Sasuke, I mean, not like Sasuke. Again, he takes over everything. Like Sakura and Naruto, you know. I mean, Naruto was kind of being pervy, but like Ash was trying to help a Pokemon, and with how she is towards him in Pokemon later, you think, oh, she would have been a little more. I think she took pity on him. Like, he's so inept as a trainer, she's like, you know, if I don't follow him around, this guy's gonna die, or this Pikachu's gonna die. Then again, she only really liked water Pokemon, so. I remember her saying that she didn't want to take one time because it wasn't water.
It was always funny as a kid how people in the games were like, they'd be like, plant Pokemon are the absolute best. That's why I only use plant Pokemon. But it wouldn't be that. They'd be like, Bellsprout, that's the goat right there. That is God. You bow down and you suck my Bellsprout. And then he would just get like destroyed because he would have like a level 3 Bellsprout. Or like 2 level 3 Bellsprouts. They're like, oh, I have learned a great lesson about the limitations of my Bellsprout today. Do 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 do. I think my first game was Crystal. I love that Bellsprout tower. When I was a kid, especially because, like, you know, I started playing Pokemon, I didn't read that much. I just kept, like, skipping in a video game until they let me move around and do shit. And then I was like, why can't I get anywhere? But I didn't realize the Bellsprout tower, that center thing, was supposed to be, like, a swaying pillar of the tower, even after reading the lore. I thought it was like a Game Boy. It was like a bunch of flowers planted in the shape of a Game Boy. And they were moving because they were flowers, like, swaying in the wind. Okay, so I got the skin, and I got around her eyes, and, it looks better than I thought it would. Clean off. So we gotta pick some colors next. So her eyes are blue, and her thing, her jewelry there is green. I always thought they were blue, but I found out I misremembered that the other day. So probably gonna do her eyes and lipstick, and then her earrings. I'm just wondering if I want to do the lipstick with a color, with a watercolor, or with a Prisma. They have this really lustrous red. The thing is, it's kind of the same color as the R, so I have to be able to get them close. I'll probably do both. I'll probably do something like that with color over it. So I'm just going to go and fill in their R's now. Because anxiety, you know. I usually go for what's bothering me the most in a picture. I'm like, you know what? That's what's going to it up right now, you know? That's what's going to just completely derail this if I mess it up. So again, I shouldn't try to describe what I'm doing before I do it, because this is not the first time I said something like that, and now here we are. Oh, I'm going to do this. It actually turned out really well. See, because this will give me a nice base, and then I'll just go over it again when it's dry. Here, I'll practice right here in the art. I'll make it look just way more saturated. You won't have those little white specks. I'm being really careful. I'm going to my ink line and drawing up. This is where my guidelines are really helping out. Struggling to remember what an R looks like, and it is the first letter of my name. Team Rocket R is kind of distinct, though. It has the R coming off, like, at an angle. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that like that for now. So let's go and do her lips. Giggity. Just very carefully. And that's beautiful. She has a really tiny mouth. I kind of like how she has a line right there, so I'm going to go and add that when this dries. It feels dry now. And make sure to use the right pin, though. Okay, so just a little. There we go. Now she's making like kissy lips. A little more detail on the face. So next, let's get may hurt earrings. It's got the shine, so again, my light source is coming from here. Obviously not the literal one you're looking at, but the one that she is looking like in the world this picture exists. The light source that I'm imagining when they took this photo, it's like a glamour shot. Like, you know, like if they were famous and you ran into them, this is like the picture they would sign for you. Alright, it has those darker spots. But I might save that for the color pencil. I might just do a little smidgen of an outline. So let's get some blue in her eyes now. She has a really deep oceany blue. I don't want my super dark one, so let's try this one. Got my sample paper here. That actually looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to go in, start in the black, move towards the outside line, and wow. That really pops now. So all we really have left... Oh, let's do the white real quick. Josh didn't yet? Okay. It's funny to me. Okay, so... the hair. The hair is going to be a hard one. And again, it's got those two tones with the shadow and whatnot. It's not like Suigetsu's hair. It's kind of its own thing. So I'm just going to try to find something that matches well. And do, like we are with everything, a nice base. And I think it's going to be one of these right here. So we'll start up here. And this... That looks a lot like the shadow. The ultimate life form. So let's try the other one. It's like the same one. They are not very distinct at all. Oh, but when you really gob it on there, it's dark. Okay, so her hair is like this purpley color, maroon. So this was the first one here, and this is the second one. It's really hard, but I'm going to say the first one matches better. We're going to go with that. And then maybe I'll use the other one in the dark spots, or I'll use color pencil. I don't know. I'll practice on that paper. Let's get some poipa. Go around your piece. Really want to saturate this out. I don't want to make her hair one giant dark spot. I'm going to start in this bitch of a corner. It'll be funny if I finish this and my son's like, now do Jessie. Because he specifically said he didn't want him in here. Specifically. Down and around. I might have to change the background color. I'm realizing I made it look more like her hair and less like James in my mind. I'm all saying what I made, it's in my mind. That's the thing, a lot of things I want to paint, like I kind of just have the image sitting there in the old brainola till it gets replaced with something. Like the new chicken western at Carl's Jr. Yeah, when I was a kid, I mean, I love sandwiches. You know, 6'5". I pretty much grew up to be 6'5". But there was this little burger stand in my hometown. It was called like Pop Shack or Stop or something. Anyways, my cousin would go there and he'd order a Western style burger. Well, he'd just get a plain double bacon cheeseburger. He would get onion rings. He would get barbecue sauce. He would get ranch. And he would get chicken strips. And he'd put them all on the burger and eat it. And he says they started selling it, but they called it the dumbass. And it was pretty much, you still just paid for all those items separately. But he was very proud of that sandwich. And, I mean, it's alright. I thought the ranch and the barbecue was weird, but you ever watch 600 Pound Life? Apparently a lot of people do that. Now, my cousin, I mean, while he was in great shape at the time, puberty and all, I mean, his diet's always kind of been... He's one of those cereal babies. You know what I mean? They just eat cereal. Like, he's the guy, you get the bag, pour the milk in the bag. It moves, so I'm up out of the wetness a bit. James. I'm just going to imagine he's taking the photo. He's like, why do I have to take the photo? You know, I'm going to imagine James, actually, he wanted to do a glamour shoot, and this was like his cover. Like, oh yeah, we're taking one. So he's doing this for them, so they'll sit there and take his, like... James uses the freaking Douyin filters. Looks like a pixie. You know, at the risk of sounding sexist and the risk of sounding like a weeb, I don't like the filter culture. I don't like... I mean, and I'm also sounding old. I just don't like what a lot of people are doing. I didn't like it when I was a kid either. I'm not saying like, oh, it was so much better when I was younger, but just... Like, in the Western media, and the girls around me, they all want to look like Kim Kardashian. You know, the big lips, the big eyelashes. I've actually had friends where when the first time I seen them without their eyelashes, I thought they were really angry. Because I didn't know they had fake eyelashes. I thought they were just kind of like squinty looking. And, you know, personally, I really like Asian women. And, you know, they're very beautiful, but their filters... It's like, oh, I'm going to be a pixie. I'm going to be like this weird pixie. They want to be Macaulay Culkin, really. They want that pale skin, the tiny chin, the weird sideways out ears to make the face look smaller. And they're getting surgery now to, like, push their ears out and to, like, put bumps on the back of their head just to make their face look smaller. And then you see this Chinese, it's really Chinese, like their art, especially when they try to make anime, and it's just like they have like these giant freaking lanky limbs. And my favorite one is they keep making guys, I guess this is what they think looks good. He'll have a really long, thick neck and then just this tiny head on it. And it looks like that weird game, or maybe it was a book where the girl's like dating the horse with the anime head. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff I have to edit in this video now. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. Like, if you do that, you're happy, more power to you. Whatever. That's how you want to look. You know, like, that's just like my personal feelings about it. It's like Western and Eastern women too. It's like you're so beautiful. Like, it's not that. It's like you guys are naturally so beautiful, But this toxic, like, subculture is just... And it's not just it looks bad. It's like some of the stuff they're doing is dangerous. It's hurting them. I mean, that's when I get, like, when people start feeling so bad about themselves, they have to, like, modify their bodies with surgery. To me, I feel the same as, like, when I see someone that cuts themselves. I see a person that's in pain and I don't know how to help them. I'm going to get called like a bigot or something now. Okay. So she seems mostly where we want her, but there's something off. And it's the black. And the black, we're going to be careful with the black. Because, again, that's one of those ones where it can go from, yeah, it's just fine up in a second to just completely messed up. You want just a very light layer of black. Because we're going to put shadowing in later. It's going to give our legs that tubular long look. Or that tubular round look, that like a cylinder. It's going to accentuate the folds, the lighting. It's really going to make these pictures look less two-dimensional. As they look now, they look kind of flat and they're going to really pop. I'm making sure to go back and test this pen every single time I dip it. Because if you don't, you'll get a huge black spot. Huge. Yep, look. I just got one. It went from like barely anything to just super dark. Someone is out there trying to curse me because they don't like my previous comments. Yeah, someone watching this video now after I recorded it and edited it and uploaded it in the future is thinking nasty thoughts. That's messing me up now. You know, as long as we're talking about people in the future doing things to affect my videos, now is a great time to ask you to please like and subscribe. Oh, I love saying that. Actually, you know something I think I haven't said this video? Is if you have anything, you know, I normally paint, like this channel right now, I'm painting for various charities, one every season. And I pick a charity, I auction off the picture I do, and then the proceeds of that picture goes to the charity. So, I haven't chosen the next charity yet. If you have any charities, especially like something summery, maybe something having to do with swimming, teaching kids to swim, that you'd like to recommend, I'd always be happy to hear about them. Any worthwhile charity, it would, at the very least, help bring attention to them. Now, if there's anything you just want me to paint, whether you want to buy something, you have to message me personally if you want to buy something, or you just want to see something on the channel, don't be afraid to comment what you'd like to see, because you know what, if it's a cool enough idea, I'll probably do it. And if you can't afford, or you don't want to buy the thing that you recommend, anything people recommend I'll probably end up selling anyways. It doesn't just have to be Pokemon, I believe. I'd really like to start that Kyoshu Warrior next. Especially because it's looking like this one might finish up before the summer. So I might actually have time to do that. And then I'll do another Pokemon and then, I don't know, something else. There's always something to do. But yes, I'm always interested to hear from you. Also about painting, drawing, art, Pokemon themselves. Like, if you have any questions for me or comments, always happy to hear them. I'll always try to... Honestly, if you, like, with the art specifically, if you ask a good enough art question, I might just make a video just on that. I have considered That's kind of what started this, actually. My niece, I got her some art stuff for her birthday, and I made her some videos showing her, like, proportion, horizon lines, just a lot of shadowing, a lot of the basics. And I sent them to her, and that's kind of what got me. It's like, you know what? I would like to do some sort of videos. And my son, you know, he loves YouTube. He loves, like, Jillian and Addie. Yes, I'm shouting out that Jillian and Addie. They have a pretty good channel. Those girls did good with it, made money. Anyways, so it's fun for the whole family. It's just something we enjoy. I think that's the best part at the end of the day, because, you know, as long as I enjoyed myself with my hobby, especially enjoying myself with my son, it's all worth it. I almost just dabbed directly on the paper, and I would have regretted it because it was super dark. It's a little dab of water, help blend here. Okay. Now you got her gloves and her little tank top thing. I remember we joked about her being a Latina. I think if she was, she'd have like the big thong coming up from the skirt. By the way, I've seen this new underwear for women where it's just like a clip. It's called the strapless panty. And, I don't know, that sounds horrible. It's like, are you trying to hold something? I don't... But my immediate thought upon seeing it is, like, women are like Darth Vader. In that they purposely have these really uncomfortable clothes that they wear all the time to piss them off and keep them in touch with the dark side. Now, some people might get mad at that statement, and, oh, Darth Vader, you know, Palpatine designed his suit, whatever. Yeah, but Darth Vader went back and modified it, like putting in the electric resistance so they could withstand the Force lightning. So, like, when he's doing all that, he could have changed the material that was making him, like, really itchy and pissed off in his suit. He didn't have to. And I just love the thought behind that. Like, he completely, Palpatine, destroys the Jedi Order, turns Anakin on his own, like, the freaking mother of his child, on his best friend, on his entire freaking monastic order. And he's all burnt up, and he's like, yes, I'm going to make his clothes really uncomfortable and itchy, so he's pissed off all the time, so he doesn't forget the dark side. Like, you didn't need to do that. Like, dude is already, you could have just put some sand in there and boom, done. Like, he wasn't a happy guy to begin with. You know? Just dick. It's just so stupid and childish. Like, dick, what a dick. Alright, so I got our gloves. Looks a little uneven, so I'm just going to get some water, test on my arm, and I'm just going to try to blend it a bit. The problem is it's a little too wet at the moment. I don't want it to get wetter. Let's just do her thingies. You know, I was talking about my cousin and the dumbass earlier. Same cousin. He saw, I guess, Beauty and the Beach in Japanese, but it didn't have subtitles where he just didn't understand it. And that led to him saying, Jessie was originally a girl in Japan. They changed it in America. And he swore this up and down, and it was like a rumor that he spread around because he seen that. Or maybe he read it offline and he didn't understand the inflatable breast thing, but that's not even the only instance where James cross-dresses either. Like, there's plenty left in. It's just because, I guess, the boob humor. This turned out to be a pretty long video. Looks good, you know? So, what are we going to do next? We'll probably come back, do the shadowing on Meowth. You know, he needs his glasses and whatnot. He needs some details. Fix up our R's a bit. Do the final layers of shadowing and whatnot on them. And then the background will probably be a few videos, because it's really going to saturate out the paper. I'll probably start out, like, getting around them or something. I'm not looking forward to doing the background. I'm going to tell you right now. I may be, like, this telling me in the future, if I do this pose again, this leg, I should have brought it a little forward. Now I have to go in here. You know? But, you know, this is actually a pretty great video, I feel. If you enjoyed it, again, please, any interactions you do with my videos greatly helps me. And I hope you're excited to see how this turns out, and I really hope to see you back here again. But until then, have a good day.